Got Connor Slevin on, today's guest. Harlequins player, obviously fly half, has played for England under 20s as well, but has also done stuff with Chinna too, which is good. So we'll start with the same question. So if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Um, I think everyone's probably going to say keep enjoying it. So I'll try and spin off that, but I think it's just practice as much as you can. You know, throwing a ball in the garden or down on a weekend, just kicking whatever. When you're younger, you can kick for hours and not feel a thing. So I just say keep practicing.
Yeah. And on the practice as well, you're obviously at the minute training with some international players at Quins. What's it like being around that different? I guess some of them are top internationals. So is there a big difference you notice in the way they train to compared to some of the other lads too?
Well, I mean, obviously, you see them come back from camp and you haven't seen them for 2 months, and they get back on the training pad, and you're like, yeah, this is what we've missed.
Yeah.
And they do some special things, but I think sometimes it's more what you notice is more their off field and how they, treat other people and how they speak in front of people as well. I guess that comes with experience, doesn't it? But they seem to, when they talk, you seem to really listen because they've been there and are at the top of the game. So,
and in particular, probably Marcus. Obviously, you being the fly half, it's probably one to pinpoint to see.
Yeah,
to
definitely.
learn off him as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. So on the Quinn side of things, I guess probably what's quite interesting is what does a typical week look like? Is it very similar? Is it different?
I think it depends on
game days as well.
Yeah, obviously it depends on game days. Fortunately, this year we've been lucky, I guess, to have quite a few Saturday games, so the weeks are pretty similar.
Yeah.
But there are years where it's just it's luck, isn't it? Where you'll have Friday night games, even Sunday games, which completely switch up the week.
Yeah.
Friday night games are great. Don't get me wrong.
They're good to watch as well.
Good to watch. You get the whole weekend. So yeah, they're good. But a typical week, if we're going Saturday to Saturday, we'll be in Monday for a, review the game from the weekend, scratch that off, and then by the afternoon we're straight into the week ahead. Tuesday's our hardest day of the week training wise, and then we get the Wednesday off, Thursday in, and then unlike a lot of other teams, we get the Friday off as well. So not needed to come in to do a run through with everyone living quite, a lot of lads living in London, so it's a long trip out to Guildford for some.
Yeah, and then obviously, like you say, Tuesday being the harder day, what kind of recovery methods do you do it as a team, or is it kind of an individual thing that you've got to go off and do your own thing?
Yeah, more individual, individual, I'd say. But there's some good groups that tend to go off together.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like it's a snowball effect. A lot of people won't name any names, but a lot of people wouldn't do it, and then one person's going, and then two, and then suddenly 6-12 lads are going down the sauna or the ice bath together. And it's funny to see a few lads getting the ice bath, but
who's the worst in the ice bath? if you want to out somebody,
I won't.
You don't have.
There was one man who started poorly but stuck with it. George Hammond started really poorly, but most improved. Definitely, he was in there all the time. Good. By the end of it.
Nice. And how do you find recovery yourself? Is it something that you love doing, or you go, I kind of feel like I not have to do it, but do you think it has a massive impact on your preparation or recovery?
I think I probably you could go without it. I don't think I'm in either of those camps. Yeah. Like I love it or I hate it. I just know if I do it, you will feel better.
Yeah.
and people enjoy different different things. Massage. I don't really like a massage.
No.
And it just takes ages. Sometimes a small chat isn't something that you
like.
want to be doing. It's like getting a haircut, but yeah, sauna and ice bath's pretty standard for me.
Yeah, nice. And before kind of going back away from Quins, before Quins, where did you grow up playing your rugby? And how early did you start? Actually, that's probably something that some people won't know.
I started quite early.
Mm.
I think around 4 or 5, because Dad played a bit, so got me into it pretty early doors. I was down at Roslyn Park, so not far from here actually. So I was down there. Dad was coaching, so luckily I got picked in the team every week, which was great. And then at Donhead School as well. Lucky enough to play a lot of rugby there, because a lot of people don't play much in their primary school. So that's where I started off.
And then when did you get into the academy stuff?
Pretty late on in comparison to others.
Yeah.
I was kind of just this tall, gangly lad, so not much has changed. But when did I get it? About 16. Yeah, I got in.
You train a lot with the senior team already then, don't you? Did you get to that when you were 18, 19?
Yeah, usually a bit later on. Yeah.
And how did you find that, being a academy lad, training with all of the senior boys?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. You obviously, I got taken probably to my first Quins game when I was 15, and always been a fan because obviously live in Rains Park, so it's close. It's my local club, and it was really cool. But you realise the size difference. So I was probably 80 kilos, and
that's quite a lot for some people.
But there is. I think that's more the height that gets me there. Yeah. Just bone, 80 kilos of bone. But it was pretty scary. Yeah, especially when it started getting into the contact side of things.
How did the first session feel? Was it one of those where
I actually can't
remember.
properly remember it?
No.
But
okay, I'll rephrase that. How did obviously you transition from in the academy to being a professional? How was that first training session as a professional? How did that kind of feel?
I think it was just the standard of skill set. I think when in the academy it might take you 20 minutes to get into a session, and then it might take a chat from a coach to say this isn't good enough, like we've got to up it. But I think as soon as you started with the seniors, it was like as soon as that first whistle goes, as soon as the warm-up's done, or even when you're doing the warm-up, like that's it, because you can't waste a minute in a day really.
And how does that environment differ to the England 20s setup?
It was probably pretty similar. Obviously, it was different in the fact that in the 20s setup, you were staying together the whole week leading up to games, or even a month at a time during the World Cup. So you got to know people probably a lot quicker, and a lot better than maybe you might want to. But that's probably the biggest difference.
Yeah. And then how, obviously, with the 20s, there's some quite big pressure games. How do you, I guess, prepare not just physically but mentally for a big game? It could all just games in general.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty lucky. I don't seem to get too nervous. There's some people that will be, throwing up in change rooms before games, which is pretty minging and makes me sort of want to heave myself. But I've been pretty lucky not being too nervous. I guess I kind of know that I've done all of my prep in the week.
Yeah, trusting yourself.
Exactly, yeah. And that gives me the confidence that, whatever happens, I think I've prepared. Or if I don't play well, then maybe in the back of my mind I know I didn't do enough during the week, and then that's where the week after, then I'll do more of that.
Yeah,
something.
It's a good outlook on it to almost back your preparation and go. It's almost one of those you can't do too much more now. You've got there, is it? You've just got to ride the wave and hopefully you come off. But have you found or come across people that have been very good at managing their nerves and managing the way they go about games in general?
I guess it's probably not something that you really talk about. You just notice it.
You can pick up.
You
little
notice
things
when
people.
someone's nervous. Someone's very like, for example, even just being around the Quins lads, maybe like being a TR or something. You notice like Will Evans is super relaxed, and you would have thought for someone in his position, like as a fly half, if you relax, that's probably where you need to be. You know. Because you need a cool head to make decisions, but as a flanker who's going around smashing people and you know, getting over the ball like he does, he is the most chilled out. He
does smash people as well.
His screen time must be through the roof on those game days because he's just, I don't know, playing games and stuff on his phone. So
that's crazy. And then I kind of wanted to touch on the behind the scenes a little bit, where people probably don't see the side of rugby, that because to some people, or to a lot of people, it can look like quite a good lifestyle, but actually I think there's probably a lot more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that you go, people don't really know about this, or is it something that a lot of people kind of get the gist of?
No, it does kind of at times, you know, people say, you know, it's the best job in the world, and I think it is. Like, no, you know, being a professional sportsman, I'm very grateful for being where I am, for the people that put me where I am.
Yeah.
But then there's also the hard work piece, like what we go through in a week that, you know, you wouldn't wish on anyone else, basically. So yeah, there is a lot of hard work that goes into it, and I don't exactly know what it is, or like, for example, pre-season coming up at the minute, like that's just
back in on Wednesday.
In a couple of days, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're so lucky," but it's like 7 till 5 days a week of just trying to get in the best possible physical, mental shape for the season, which is a long time as well.
How do you stay motivated for that? The love of the game?
Yeah, the love of the game, but that does come and go, like in ebbs and flows. Yeah. I think, you know, that's massively dependent on, you know, being fit or not, the environment that you're in. There's a lot of factors that can affect that. Yeah,
I guess as well, it's probably important, your life outside of rugby and probably the people you have around you that maybe don't have anything to do with rugby.
I'd say that's definitely, I think that's more important.
Yeah, it's obviously knowing you quite well, it seems to be what keeps you quite grounded. Is that network around you that's definitely. Okay, obviously all the lads in the change room are really good friendships as well, which helps, but I think detaching yourself from rugby is something that you do quite well from what I can see. Yeah, and it's probably something that a lot younger people can maybe take from it, is to go, okay, obviously you want to be the best you can be, but sometimes it's quite good to take a step back and go and play golf or do something else that just takes your mind off rugby. Otherwise it consumes you a little bit, can't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very different though when you're a schoolboy in comparison to when you're, you know, when it's your job. Like, when you're a schoolboy, all you want to do, all you want to think about, talk about is rugby, because it's an escape from your
Work
studies
and school.
Yeah, exactly. From anything else, you do anything else but work. You know, I probably play chess, which I never do. Yeah. But now you probably want to do the opposite. You want to do everything to not talk about rugby. So, you know, as you said, golf, paddle or padel, as they call it. Yeah, playing a lot of that. And then, like, I'm living home with my parents and with my family, which is nice to sit around the dinner table and kind of talk about their days, because it's very different to what I get up to.
That's hard work as well.
Oh
doing
yeah.
9 to 5 every week.
Yeah, to be doing that and to be getting the time off that they get is very different. So I don't envy them at all.
No,
But I respect obviously everyone that does a 9 to 5 as well.
Definitely. And how important has that network been for setbacks? And obviously, in everybody's career, they have times where maybe they don't get picked or they've had an injury or stuff like that, where you need that kind of, I guess, support system around you.
Yeah, it's great. Well, I mean, you know, I'm sure everyone's the same, but to your mum, you're the best rugby player ever in the world, aren't you? Like, if your mum was a coach, you'd have 200 caps for England for the Lions by now.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have those mates from home that have known you, you know, since I was 4, 5, 6. That I'll keep in touch with and see most weekends. And, you know, they obviously, apart from your family, they probably know you the best and, you know how you're feeling and know what questions to ask when, depending on how you're feeling. So, I think it's massive.
Yeah, good. And then, obviously, going forward, trying to think, what would success look like for you in 5 years, in your opinion? Again, it could be not rugby related. It could be anything. Tricky question.
It is a 5 years. What, 27?
You'd be old.
Yeah, that's getting towards I wouldn't say old.
That's true. I'm not far off.
Just in case.
That's true.
Only 27-year-olds listening.
Yeah.
I think happy's
that's a good answer.
It's what you look for all the time, isn't it? I just want to be happy in whatever I'm doing with off the field. You know, you're probably looking to settle down with a partner by then. And you know, on pitch, I'd like to have established myself wherever that may be.
Yeah.
Just to be an established name.
Yeah.
And just enjoying it by then, and hopefully, and keep the body right, because that's usually what sends people out the game.
Away, yeah.
Is the body. So,
good.
Look after that.
Nice. And then, obviously, at the minute you're playing at Chinner as well as Quins. How does that differ? Because obviously, one is a massive club in the Premiership, and another is a different side. But they obviously, from what I get, it's still a great environment to be around. From speaking to you about it previously.
Yeah, definitely. I think probably at the start of last season, I probably did question I think I fell out of love of the game a little bit.
How does that feel in the moment when you're like that?
It's not nice at all. Because you kind of feel like, why am I hating this? You know, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah, it's the sport you've loved for so long.
Yeah, why am I suddenly now feeling this way? But I think it was probably through my lack of rugby and lack of playing, because you know,
so it's probably helped that.
Yeah,
massively.
Absolutely. It's all well and good training with the big dogs all the time, but you don't. The release and the reward at the end of the week is to play a game, and to get 5 points on the table. You know, so yeah, I'm very thankful for my time at Chinner this season. I've loved it. It was a great group, and I respect a lot of them for what they do. You know, a lot of labourers.
Yeah.
You know, smashing up patios and laying down a few stones to then come in at 6:30, do a gym session, and then get out 7 till 9, train, and then have 3 beers afterwards before doing the same thing.
3.
Yeah.
Maybe
potentially. More. It could have been lager tops, who knows? But yeah, I respect them massively for doing that.
Puts into into perspective as well.
Yeah,
doesn't
absolutely.
It, when people like that are doing,
Yeah,
they've got obviously commitments like that which are crazy, and then they're still wanting to play rugby. So it's good.
yeah, absolutely.
It's good to see the amount of people wanting to play rugby is still growing. Obviously with the grassroots and stuff. There's millions of kids playing rugby now, which is good.
Yeah.
Nice, sweet. You just had a little award, if I'm right in saying.
Yeah, correct.
Talk to me about that. So it's the men's club champion.
Club champion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to briefly talk about this because I don't really like talking about myself about this too much. But what was it about? Without sounding like a bell end, it's basically just being a good lad around
club man
around the club. Yeah.
And with that, you've probably done a few things outside of rugby. Did you go to a few schools or clubs or stuff like that?
I think that's usually what it's given for.
Yeah. Or do any? Because I remember seeing a few photos of you with like a couple of you lads signing loads of balls for kids and stuff, and being in and around rooms where there's a group of kids.
Yeah. We do a couple of foundation days, as a whole squad.
Yeah.
Which are really enjoyable. Trying to, get people involved in rugby in and around that sort of area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just enjoy the lads in the club. I enjoy their company. I'm happy that they feel comfortable laughing at my jokes, because that's probably the main reason.
Without trying to pump your tires up, it's a nice
definitely
reminder. So
I think it was it was a nice award to get. Yeah. I think there was plenty of people that could have got it.
Yeah, it's a good set of lads. I mean, I've been on the outside of it massively, but every time me and a few of my friends are around it, we always feel very included. So it's a good group. Moving on to coaching, you've done quite a bit at different clubs. You've done a bit with us as well, doing the Coach Good masterclasses as well. How do you enjoy that compared to playing?
It's different. Yeah, it's very different. I think it took me a while to realise what different age groups can do and can't do, and sometimes I found that tough to begin with. Like the younger groups, you might think they're able to do something, but they can't, and you really need to strip it down,
adapt.
Yeah, and start over again. So, it's definitely tougher, but I really enjoy it. Like I like helping, talking to kids, and kind of trying to get them to problem solve themselves instead of just spoon feeding them.
Does it change your perspective on how you see the game when you're playing? Trying to think of it from a coaching perspective, or are you probably a little bit too young at the minute to look at it in that way? Yeah,
probably a little bit. I definitely, the coaches that I've had have most of them have been great for me. I don't think I've ever really had a coach that's not really done anything for me. So I'd say I'm probably a little bit too young to.
Going back to that point briefly, is there a coach that you've resonated with in particular, or somebody that you've gone, I like how he or she goes about it, and want to learn more from them about how they coach, or just in general?
It's probably, there's definitely two. Eugene Martin, the first one, he's coached quite a few good players at the minute. He was at Warwick to begin with. Coach like Finn Smith, who's killing it at the minute. He came to Whitgift, where I was at secondary school, and just the way he coached, I quite like to coach in a similar way and be coached in a similar way. It was very much, as I just said, like not spoon feeding you,
Then you work it.
Yeah,
yourself.
he'd let you work it out yourself and let you make mistakes to then learn.
Yeah, I think that is a massive point where you said there the making mistakes, and obviously in sport, not just professional sport, but the minute people realise that failing and learning from it is actually what makes you better, I think there's probably a lot of, not stigma, but a lot of people that are probably worried about failing or feel like
Agreed.
they can't fail and it's going to be the end of the world. And obviously being in a professional environment, you're probably, that's heightened even more. So do you find you struggle with that at all, or that you deal with it well?
Yeah, I've started dealing with it better. Definitely started dealing with it better.
Because it's tricky, isn't it? Because you feel like, obviously, like you say, it's your job, and if you feel, you can end up putting yourself under a heap of pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. And then touching briefly on the coaching grid, obviously, you've been doing a few things for us. How have you found seeing the different reactions to the kids? Because I don't think you boys really realised it until you did it, the kind of impact you all have on these kids that are turning up and getting coached by you.
Yeah, it's pretty humbling. Yeah, I think you kind of realise it more with the one-on-one stuff.
Yeah.
That they're, you
can progressively see them getting a bit better, can't you?
Yeah, you can see it. Whereas, I remember it when I was a kid, when you saw a professional, and they would say a few words to you, you'd listen to every word, every comma, every full stop. So yeah, that it is nice, and that's why I enjoy coaching so much, giving back and motivating them to go and do the same thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Going back to your coach, obviously you mentioned the two that you had.
Yeah.
What is the best piece of advice they've given you? It could be a couple of things, but obviously maybe the two that you spoke about previously. Is there anything in particular that they said that stuck with you?
Yeah, it's like in terms of mistake, I used to be so scared of making mistakes. Like whether, I think it probably starts in the classroom. You make a mistake, your mates laugh at you. That's it's the worst place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Worst place to be. So I think that kind of transferred in, because I'd say I'm a pretty confident person.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So, yeah, to get something wrong and to get laughed at kind of puts you so far deep in your shell.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the biggest advice that I've ever been given is whatever mistake you've made, like you could make it 4 more times and no one cares.
No, nobody cares more than you.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's kind of parking it and moving on to the next job. That's probably the biggest improvement I've seen or felt mentally with my game since I've been a professional, is forgetting mistakes and moving on, because there's not enough time to think
especially
about
in rugby being so fast paced.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not like with cricket or other sports where you can make a mistake and you have to sit down and watch everybody else play for the next 5 hours and contemplate your decision. On the mistake element, is there a particular mistake that had taught you something? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Well, there's obviously like certain mistakes that get you knocked out. That will teach you pretty quickly.
That's a very good answer.
But
have you ever been knocked out?
Once, yeah.
When was that?
It was when I was 16. Yeah, head on a hip and
wrong side.
Good night. I don't think it wasn't even wrong side. I just caught him on the hip.
Did you?
And I was like, my arms were flailing up in the air and everything.
Do you remember much about that, or do you get told about it more? I feel like some people, from speaking to them, they have either remember quite a lot of it or just.
I think at the time I couldn't remember a thing.
No. Yeah. Have you had any other bigger injuries?
It was when I've had a couple of weird ones. Like I've had a lung contusion, which is like a bruise on the lung, which kept me out for maybe 4 to 6 weeks, which was weird because it was like, I think it happened. I took a high ball and just got a knee in the rib, and then just felt impossible to breathe. And then like in my first year, I think the step up into men's rugby was tough, and a couple of like an ankle surgery, both shoulders, and took like 4 weeks to take some time out. So, but that was good. Like I played maybe 4 or 5 games in my first year. And then it was just like about putting size on. So I guess, that injuries are obviously a low point, but at that point in that early, I think it was a good time to get them out of the way.
How do you deal with them when you obviously, because like you're seeing all of your mates playing rugby and doing what you want to do? How do you deal with that where you're on the sidelines having to watch and cheer them on?
I think everyone's a little bit different. There are some lads that feel like they don't really want to be around the group when they're injured. So
is it very separate when you're injured?
They try and make sure that you're in all the meetings and being around the group as much as possible. And some people that will fuel them, like being around the group and the camaraderie and everything will keep them going. But some people just want to get in and get out as quickly as possible.
And you touched there on the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a massive part of sport, but rugby in particular as well, because you're all getting battered together at some point where you might get whacked by a team or you might be winning together. But how do you, as a group, stay not grounded, but just keep on plodding along? Because obviously rugby is a tricky sport. When you come up against a good side, it can feel like you're miles off, and then when you come up against somebody that you're maybe better than, you can feel on top of the world.
Yeah, I think it's if we always say, like, don't get too high with the highs and too low with the lows. Like, kind of stay at that constant, which I'd say is easier when you're winning.
Yeah.
Like the line moves up a little bit when you're winning constantly. But when you're losing every week, it's tough, like to come back and be back where you are. I think
especially under the scrutiny that be under. It being at Quins like that, the expectation is there, isn't it? Being one of the top
agreed.
clubs,
and there's definitely it's been a tough season for Quins and the environment, but for someone that's not really playing for them and playing my rugby somewhere else and coming back, it's hopefully being able to add something to the group is.
That's a good way. It's a good way of looking at it, of feeling like, because I think probably a lot of people in your situation might go the other way and go, well, I'll just keep quite a low profile and go about my business and just go home. Yeah, I think that's probably the easy option.
Yeah,
isn't it?
well, I think anywhere you go, like, you got to add something. I mean, don't get me wrong. In some environments, you might feel like you would just want to keep your head down and get in, get out. And there's certainly some individuals that do, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But I always feel like to try and have a positive impact in some way or the other. It might not be on the pitch. It could be off of it, which it is most of the time.
Yeah. But at least it's been recognised.
Yeah.
At least it's been recognised.
Yeah.
On teammates, is there... it doesn't have to be a teammate, but is there anybody in particular that has inspired you, or you've seen how they go about their business? It might be off the field, on the field, and gone, I like that. And if so, what is it in particular?
Well, I mean, I respect Marcus so much. The way he goes about things, pretty pretty religiously when it comes to kicking and stuff like that. Or even, actually, how have I missed this? Yeah, Lee Halfpenny.
Oh yeah,
Lee Halfpenny was, he was only with us for a year, but the kind of the legacy that he left behind was, massive.
How does someone like that change? Obviously, I know he's probably one of the most experienced players in the Premiership last year, but obviously being quite a small bloke and on the wing and fly half fullback. Sorry,
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. How does he have such a big impact, or what kind of impact does he have on the side or the team in general?
Well, yeah, as you touched on, he's got it all, isn't he? Like he's played for Wales however many times.
Right. Lions.
He played for Lions, top point scorer for the Lions in Test, I believe, if that's right.
Somebody be fact checking.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's just his experience. Like, he was so good with talking with everyone, but for such an experienced man, he was so quiet.
Yeah, I
to begin
noticed,
with.
like because when you go and watch a lot of the games, he's always, because he didn't actually play too much in the end, did he? But he's always there watching and supporting, and just see him quietly going about his business and signing autographs all the time because everybody's asking for his. But no, it must be awesome to be around people like that.
Definitely.
Constantly. I mean, day in, day out, isn't it? So,
yeah.
Are there any coaches at the minute that are like that? Is Nick Evans at the minute? Because he obviously has played and experienced it all, and now he's trying to give back. How do you?
Yeah, I think it's always good, especially as fly halves, to have an attack coach that was a fly half. Is great, and I think obviously the game's changed since Snap was playing, but the way in which his mindset is able to flip, with the generation of and with the style of play that a lot of teams are playing at the minute, to be able to pick out weaknesses in defences and how we can attack through that, whether through set piece or kicking game or whatever. I respect him massively for that, and I think that's experience in the game. But it's cool talking to him. Obviously, he's an All Black, isn't he?
Yeah.
And
nice.
would have had a lot more caps if it weren't for Dan Carter or
not a bad one.
Other people. Yeah.
We always finish with a similar question, being, if there is one message that you'd want to leave for the people listening, what would it be?
I'll go along the mistakes line. I think, don't never be afraid of making mistakes. You're gonna, it's inevitable. You'll make big mistakes and make small mistakes, but to be able to learn from them and do better next time is what, and that's in any walk of life, really. How you go about things with mates and even women, anything, just always bettering yourself. Mistakes will always better yourself.
Perfect. Sweet as. Thanks, Levsy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.